Welcome to another edition of Thriving Thursday. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. Whichever part of the world you're joining from, please give me a wave, chat me up, just let me know that you're there. And if you're watching the replay of this anytime, any day, from anywhere, please do leave a comment, say something. Let's know that this has been a blessing to you, or share with us what lesson or lessons that you learned from it. But it will be good to engage those who are joining live tonight. Everyone joining, thank you for joining. Tonight we're going to get started because of time. Hey PK, thanks for joining from Lagos. Yeah, thank you so much. Good to have you online. Good to have you join live. That's awesome. Thank you so much. We're going to get right into it tonight, right? So first and foremost, Chito, thank you for joining. Yeah, good to see you. That's lovely. I want to start tonight by first saying a big thank you to all of you who shared with me birthday wishes and birthday greetings during this month. Thank you so much. Those were lovely birthday messages. I was so blessed to have a family as you guys. Really appreciated. Thank you. And for all those who are also celebrating this month, thank you so much, and wishing you a happy birthday in advance. Right, I really want to wish my wife, the perception shaper herself. It's interesting that today is well, we are in the 20th of April now, right? My birthday was 10 days ago, and ours will be in 10 days time. So I think it's very strategic that I'm taking this session tonight. So and for all those who are celebrating, who already celebrated and will celebrate their birthdays this month, I want to say happy birthday. I think April folks are just special people. I know some people will argue with that, but they are just special people. When you celebrate your birthday during the Easter season, Easter period, I think it's a period when history stopped and started again. So those of us born in April, shout out to all of you, right? Shout out to all of you. Cool. As usual, so as I was counting down to my birthday this year, I started thinking, reflecting, and looking at, what's next. And I sensed that I should do a study. I've done this study before, but I picked up my notes again, and I started to do a study on the eagle, right? And the eagle is such a wonderful animal, and we're going to be looking at some of the discoveries or some of the lessons that we can learn from the eagle today. The eagle is such an interesting animal, or an interesting bird, that depicts a lot of things that we can learn a couple of life and business lessons from. So tonight, I really want to talk about what I've titled, I think a lot of you have already seen it in the flyers, what I've titled of eagles and business lessons, of eagles and business lessons. I will say business and life lessons, right? Because some of us don't have businesses, but for sure we have a life, and there are parallels we can draw from some things the eagle does, and how we can apply it in our personal lives in our business life, right? And for those of us who are people of faith, let me start by saying that the Bible mentioned the eagle 30 times. That's amazing. That's the first thing that catches my attention. 30 times this bird is mentioned in the Bible. It means that there is something special about it that we should learn, that we need to pick a point from, right? And the eagle, it's a picture of power, it's a picture of royalty, it's a picture of strength. And that's why it's very common to see the eagle on the flags of many countries, or the coat of arms of many countries. Countries like Germany, countries like the United States, and countries like my dear country, Nigeria, either has the eagle somewhere around their flag or their coat of arms. The reason is because the eagle depicts power, depicts royalty, and depicts a lot of strength, right? You know, a lot of times, or it's generally accepted that the lion is the king of the beasts, right? It's a generally accepted fact. In the same way, the eagle is considered the king of the birds. So if you want to look at the bird society or species, the king of the birds is the eagle. It's referred to as the eagle, and that's because the eagle has a couple of characteristics that we can apply in our lives and business, and that's what I want to share around in the next, say, 20 minutes thereabout. So help me God. The first thing I really want to talk about, one of the biggest characteristic of the eagle that really amazes me is the vision of the eagle. Eagles have very, very focused vision. They are birds of vision. The way the vision of the eagle is designed is amazing. Actually, you know, the eagle is one of the creatures of God that can see a rabbit from 3.2 kilometers away. Can you imagine that? The eagle can see, I don't know, those of you who drive, you know how far 3.2 kilometers is. The eagle can see a rabbit 3.2 kilometers away. The eagle can survey a 5-mile radius with accuracy. Why? Because of the way the sight and the vision of the eagle is designed. Actually, you know, historians told us that the eyesight of the eagle is 8 times stronger than those of humans. You better believe that. The eyesight of the eagle is 8 times stronger than those of humans. And that's why the word eagle vision is used a lot in business cycles. It's used a lot in our world today. Why? Because the sight of the eagle is so much designed that it is 8 times more powerful than that of humans. We're told that the eye of the eagle has 8 million cones inside the eye to help it see far and to help it see broad. 8 million cones. Can you imagine that? Because of its highly developed binocular vision. The eagle is one of the creatures of God that has binocular vision, highly developed, specially developed binocular visions to see everywhere. Okay, we're told that the eagle is actually the only creature of God that can look directly at the sun. Can you imagine that? The vision, the sight is so much developed that they can look directly at the sun and fly in the direction of the sun. That's an eagle for you. The eagle has a highly developed vision, highly developed sight. In fact, we're also told that from 10,000 feet above sea level, they can see a coin on the ground because of how developed their vision is. Amazing, amazing vision of the eagle. That's why we call it eagle vision, eagle sight. And as a leader and as an individual today, the question is, how sharp is your vision? What can you see? What can you see? A lot of us are looking, but we're not seeing. And you know, it is not a function of what you look at. That's not what matters. What matters is what you see. It's not, you know, what social media is bringing to your purview. It's not what you're looking at. It's what are you seeing? What are you seeing? The eagle can see far and wide. In fact, let me tell you one interesting fact about the vision of the eagle. The eagle can see 275 degrees. Amazing. Can you imagine that? It can see 275 degrees, which means the eagle can see everything in front of it, can see everything both sides, and can also see some things even behind it. Oh, amazing, amazing, amazing. You know what that means? The eagle is focused on the future. The eagle bird also looks at what is happening around, so it's not oblivious of what's happening around it. And sometimes the eagle has some insight to say, what did I learn from yesterday and how can I apply that today? How can I make it better today? Amazing vision. Oh, I hope and I wish that those of you listening to me today and those who will listen to the replay, you would ask yourself the question, how sharp is my vision? How focused is my vision? Not only is the eagle seeing far and near, the eagle has focused vision. Focused vision. Now, the eagle can lock its vision on its prey and act afterwards. What does that mean? Once the eagle bird sees a rabbit, that rabbit is as good as dead. Once the eagle bird locks its vision on that rabbit is as good as dead. Why? Because the eagle has focused vision. The eagle is not playing with vision. You know, this is my vision today, then tomorrow it's that, then the next day is that. It's not playing around. It's not doing too many things. The eagle is very focused. They have laser focus. They are very laser focused on their prey. And once they lock their vision on their prey, they take action. They take flight and they act immediately. That's the eagle for you. How focused are you in your vision? How concentrated are you in your vision? There are many folks today, their vision changes with the season. It changes with what most social media trends. It changes with what's in vogue. So they move in the direction of other birds. They move in the direction of pigeons. They move in the direction of guinea fowls. They are not like eagles whose vision is very sharp, very laser focused, and very targeted. The eagle climbs high to see further. The eagle does not play with other birds, and we're going to talk about that a bit later. It flies high to see the bigger and the fuller picture. The eagle has helicopter vision, what we call helicopter vision. You know why some of us are seeing a lot of obstacles today? Because we only have horizontal vision. Horizontal vision is not above all else. It's not seeing above. It's not seeing possibilities. It's just, it's a bit lateral. It's just looking around and seeing discouragement, seeing issues, seeing problems. The eagle rises above all of that to have an helicopter view of the area, to survey the area. And based off on that, the eagle flies above other birds. Do you want to soar high? Then you need eagle vision. Eagle vision is very important. My advice to you today is, what vision of your life or business do you have? What vision of your life do you have? Do you have a vision for your life? Do you have a vision for your business? The eagle has very sharp, laser-focused vision and goes all out to establish its purpose because of that vision. What do you see? What do you see? Are you just looking? Are you just looking, or are you seeing like the eagle? So the vision of the eagle is amazing. It's amazing. Because of time. Second thing that we learned about the eagles are fearless. They don't entertain any type of fear. Right? They are not perturbed by the size of their prey. They are not moved by the size of other animals. They are fearless. They are ready for a fight to regain their territory anytime. Eagles don't give up their territory. They don't give up their territories. They are ready for a fight. I see many folks today, they are being paralyzed by fear. They are being paralyzed by fear. They are losing focus. They are losing sharpness because of fear. And listen, in our world, there are things that will make you afraid. Oh, read the newspapers, watch the news, read the social media, go online. You will see things that will make you afraid. But eagles, they are fearless. They don't give a damn. They give a fight to regain their territory. Why? Because they understand that fear will paralyze your initiatives. Fear will paralyze your business ideas. But when you are like the eagle bird, you are fearless. Listen, folks, you know what I found out about fear? 85% of the things you are afraid of never happens. 85%. 85% of the things that you are afraid of never happens. Actually, of the 15% that happens, you can actually do something about 50% of them. Right? So, yes, they eventually happen, but you are in control. You can do something about them 50% of the time. So, if you really look at things that are out of your control and happen out of all the things you are afraid of, 5 to 7%, very small fraction of it. Yet, a lot of us allow fear, allow a distraction to take away God's vision and God's dreams for our lives. Eagles are fearless. They are fearless. We were discussing in the family a couple of days back, and we're trying to define what fear is. And we said fear is false evidences appearing real. They are not there. These things are not there. But because we have given them time and chance to fester, then they appear real to us. They appear real to us. Listen, folks, leaders are fearless. People who will make it in our world and generation are those who are as bold as a lion, those who are able to take their dreams and visions to the next stage, to the next level. We will not allow pressures around. We will not allow lack of money, lack of influence to cripple them, to paralyze them. Leaders are fearless. Leaders are fearless. They face their problems head on. They don't run away from problems. Eagles run towards their problems. And you know, somebody is saying to me today, but you know, there are loads of stuff that will make you afraid. There are loads of stuff that will cause fear. Yes. What we are saying is that your fear will come. Sometimes you will be afraid. In fact, there are things you've done over and over again that you will still be afraid of. So courage is not the absence of fear. It is triumph over it, says Nelson Mandela. Says courage is not the absence of fear. That's not what we're talking about. It is the triumph over it. It is acting in spite of your fear. Eagles are fearless. My encouragement to everyone listening to the sound of my voice this evening and watching the replay is, what are you afraid of? Folks, let me tell you, whatever you are afraid of is also afraid of you. Let me say that loud and clear again. That thing that you are afraid of, may I say to you that is also afraid of you. It's also afraid of you. You need to be like the eagle and be fearless. All right, let's talk about eagles being tenacious. Eagles are tenacious. They are tenacious. It's a follow-up to being fearless. When the eagle grips something, they never leave it until it becomes successful. When they grip a prey, they never leave that prey until the prey lands in their stomach. Okay? They soar into a storm. Eagles don't run away from storms. Actually, they are the only creatures of God that don't run away from storms. In fact, they run towards the storm. They run towards the storm. When you see a storm brewing, you see the eagle running towards the storm and aligning its wings in the direction of the storm, so that after some time, the wind will give it some flight power and it moves in that direction. What do you do when problems arise? What do you do when difficulties come? Do you give up easily? Oh, this one is not selling again. Let me try that. Oh, I can't do that. You know, this one is problematic. I can't deal with it. Oh, the country is very tough. Oh, it's very tough to do business around here, right? It's because you're not tenacious. They soar into the storm. Listen to me, folks. The eagle, they have a super strong grip. They have a super strong grip. Their grips are 10 times stronger than humans. Can you imagine that? 10 times stronger than man, 10 times stronger than humans. Their grip 10 times stronger. And they can lift animals that are at least 4 times their weight. Oh, I don't know if you heard that. The eagle bird is able to lift animals that are 4 times their weight. 4 times their weight. And they never let go. They never let go. Why? Because of their tenacity. They are built to be tenacious. They are built to be super strong. That's why you hear comments like swift as an eagle. Swift as an eagle. Eagles are designed to fly 15,000 feet above sea level. They are designed to fly 160 kilometers per hour. Amazing speed. Amazing tenacity. Flying higher than every other bird that you can imagine. Higher. 15,000 feet higher. 160 kilometers per hour. Why? Because of their tenacity. They never give up. They never say never. They never say enough. They go for the best. They go for the best. Someone under the sound of my voice today, someone listening in, you're not at your best yet. You need to be tenacious. You need to hold on. You need to grip strongly. You need to move in the direction of the storm. Don't give up because of the storm. Don't give up because of challenges. Great leaders use problems as stepping stones. And we can talk about this all day. You hear about solutions in our world today. They came about as a result of problems that came up, and people came up with solutions to overcome these problems. That's it. That's it. If everyone was running away from these issues, from these problems, then we would have no solutions today. Eagles are tenacious. Just like great leaders. Great leaders use problems as stepping stones. They don't run away from them. They don't run away from them. They explore them. They exploit them. They are like, you're a problem today, but you will be a stepping stone tomorrow. Have you been in a storm lately, folks? How have you handled the storm? Did you run away? Did you turn away from it? Did you give up as a result of that difficulty? I love the way a wise man puts it. The wise man said this. He says, while adversity breaks some men, it causes others to break records. I love that. While adversity breaks some men, it causes other men to break records. The adversity will come. Storms will come. They also come to the eagle. But the eagle, despite the storm, moves in that direction. Goes after it. Holds on to its prey. Never gives up. It soars and glides towards the storm. Never gives up. Hold on tight. If you're listening to me today, I'm telling you, never ever give up. While adversity may break others, I hope it causes you to break record like the eagle bird. So the eagle has vision. The eagles are fearless. Eagles are tenacious. Let's take one or two more before we run out of time. I love this one. Eagles are very big on relationships. Eagles are very big on relationships. Eagles don't move with everyone. They select their friends. You don't see eagles moving with other scavengers. You don't see eagles moving with every bird. They are very selective. They only move with high flyers. When you see any bird flying 10,000 feet above sea level, most likely they will be in the League of Eagles. That's where they fly. That's where eagles fly. Let me ask you a question, folks. If I look at your community of friends, people that you are associated with, people that you move with, would you consider them fellow eagles? Would you consider them people of like-minded vision, people moving in the same direction with you? Or you want to be an eagle, but you want to play with the pigeons, with the vultures. You are relating with the vultures, and you know that these guys are vultures. They are dream killers around you. Eagles don't do that. They fly above all else. They are very big on relationships. Eagles are known to be loyal birds. Very loyal birds. They don't joke with family. They don't joke with relationships. In fact, they are family oriented. Eagles are some of the few creatures of God that are monogamous. You will not see eagle caught 3 or 4 female eagles. You will not see that. You will not see that. They mate for life. They go into alliances and relationships for life. Unless the wife or the husband dies, they don't marry another person. They are very loyal birds. Family oriented. They are one of the creatures of God that follow the till death do us part principle. Okay? And they always return home. They return to their next year after year. They return home. They train their young ones. They nurture their young. They train their kids. No member of the bird family is more attentive and gentle to his young like the eagle bird, we're told. No other member is more attentive. They are family oriented. They are big on relationships. They are very choiceful about their relationships. The same is true of great leaders. Great leaders are big on relationships. They are big on relationships both upwards and downwards. What does that mean? They know that they can ride on the wings of others. They thrive on by riding on the shoulders of others to get whatever they want. So they value the place of mentorship. They value the place of coaching. And as we're talking tonight, there is a link pasted online that I want you to click on. If you really want to take this relationship stuff to another level, you need mentorship, you need coaching, you need to talk to someone about how to, be in the right relationship, the right association that will take you to higher grounds, that will let you be like an eagle. Please, book a session with us and we will talk more details about it. So they know how to leverage the relationships that they have upwards, but also eagles leverage downwards. They train other people. They develop others. They are not, just one man riot squad. They are the only champion in the team. No, the eagle bird, they take their time, they take their energy to develop their young. They grow and develop other people. So they are big on relationships, but they are very, very, very selective about who they move around with. Who are those in your close cycles, friends? Who are those in your close cycle? Who are those that you relate with? Who are those that are contributing to you? Or who are those that are taking away from you? Are you moving with the vultures and still expecting to get the result of the eagle? You'll be deceiving yourself if you do that. I see that time is fast spent. Let me wrap up with this one. I wrap up with this one. Eagles feed on fresh meat. Eagles feed on fresh meat. They don't scavenge. They don't feed on dead meat. A lot of animals depend on dead meat, prey that are already dead, things that are already dead. Egypt, the vulture, they feed on decaying substance, things that are not fresh, things that are not new, right? But here, eagles feed on fresh meat. Folks, in your life and in your business, you need new ideas, new insights, new territories, right? Blue ocean strategies. You need you need new ideas. You need to take your time. If you want to soar like the eagle, if you want to glide like the eagle, you need new ideas, new insights, new relationships, new territories. You cannot afford to do business the way you were doing it yesterday. A wise man has said, if you do business today with yesterday's ideas, then you will not be in business tomorrow. If you do today's business with yesterday's ideas, you won't be in business tomorrow. New strategies, blue ocean strategies. There are new things happening around. Listen, folks, for example, the world of artificial intelligence is about to make a run. Are you going to position like the eagle bird? Or are you going to be doubtful? What's happening? No, let's feed on dead meat. Let's feed on ideas that are already around. Everybody's doing it, so let's do it as well. Let's do what's on social media, what's in vogue right now. Let's position in that direction. Then you will be like a vulture. The eagles feed on fresh meat. They don't scavenge. They feed on fresh meat. They kill the prey themselves and they feed on it. That's the eagle bird for you. That's the life of the eagle. Are you going to come with new ideas? Are you coming into new territories? Are you having new insights? Blue ocean strategies, areas that have not been explored before. ChatGPT is up and coming right now. Are you going to plug in artificial intelligence? Are you going to plug in the social media is expanding its network? Are you going to plug in into new ideas, new dreams, fresh meat? Or are you going to dwell with the vultures and feed on the old? So as I told you, as I contemplated a few of these ideas, I realized that there are numerous things we can learn from the life of the eagle. Do you have eagle vision? Are you focused in your vision? Are you focused in your vision? What are you looking at? What are you seeing? Are you fearless? Or are you afraid? Are you not launching out because of fear? Is fear paralyzing you? You need to launch out like the eagle. You need to launch out. You won't allow fear to paralyze you. Are you tenacious? Or are you giving up because you face difficulties here and there? The first obstacle you face, you try something new. Or are you going to keep on keeping on until you get it right? Are you going to let adversity break you? Or are you going to break records as a result of adversity? How are your relationships? Are you big on relationships? Are you leveraging relationships upwards and downwards? Who are your mentors? Who are your coaches? Bring it up. Who are you pulling? Who are you developing? And are you feeding on fresh meat? Are you feeding on new ideas? Are you exploring new insight and new territories? I believe that if you will leverage these lessons from an ego, your life and business will be in a better place. I will be very happy to welcome any question, any contribution, any insight, or any disagreement as well. That's also okay. Please type your comments, your questions, your insights in the chat box, and I would find time to reply. I would find time to read them. If you also want to take this to a new level, you want to connect with us, the link is already on the chat box. Please click on that link. Let's fix a time. Let's explore with you. Let's provide some mentorship and coaching, enrich your relationships and position you to win in life and in business. I hope you've gotten one or two things from our discussion tonight. I hope it's been a blessing to you as it was to me. Until I come your way again, please keep soaring and gliding on eagle's wings. See you sometime soon.